Morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual meeting, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And I want to welcome you to today's uh, Shortcuts for Your Soul. And today is about the doorway to freedom and what exactly the doorway is. And we'll get into that in a few minutes when a few people come live here. But new viewers, I want to welcome you. For those that are new to the channel, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you receive notifications for when we go live again. And it's going to be a very exciting day because what is the doorway to freedom? What is freedom? What is it really? And we're going to address some of that. I got a few beings with me. I got a divine collective with me that often works with me. There's two divine collectives that work with me: the Divine Collective Light and the Divine Collective. And they've been with me, I guess, for about a year and a half now. It'll be very exciting to see what comes through in terms of what is the doorway to freedom. Hi, Lori. Good to see you. Hi, Louise, Teresa. Yes. So today is going to be all about the doorway to freedom. Hi, Luke. Yeah. I'm just going to wait a minute or two. And I'm just going to bring this up on set. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Welcome again, guys. There we go. Yes. Hi, Prem. Wonderful. Yes. Yeah, it's been very interesting. The Divine Collective came in during my meditation this morning, and they said it's important to discuss the doorway to freedom. You know, if you look at the preceding days of overcoming intense, overwhelming emotions, and yesterday's presentation, today's about what the doorway to freedom is really important. You know, it's one thing to overcome overwhelming emotions. It's another thing to begin to get your mind in order. But then, what is the doorway to freedom? What actually begins that process of actually enabling us to feel free? Because there is a thing called freedom, and it's more of an internal process. And until it's felt on the inside, until you know that you are that which you are seeking, you are the freedom you're seeking, until you know that, you're stuck in the mind, or you're stuck in the body, you're stuck by the dictates of the world around you. And again, one of the things you want to understand is getting past the mind, learning to master overwhelming emotions. And then you'll come to the doorway to freedom. Once you get your body and your mind to a place where they are subjective to your will, you suddenly move into a place where you actually have the opportunity to become free and know what that feeling of freedom is. Because freedom is a feeling, it's a vibration, it's an awareness. And that's going to be, we'll get into that in a few minutes. Doorway to freedom. Hello, Robin. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Kira. Hi, Angela. So the doorway to freedom, I was surprised it was ridiculously simple when they told me. They said the doorway to freedom is your awareness. Your awareness is the doorway to freedom. And until you know that you are the awareness that is separate and distinct from your mind and body, that you will never become free, because you will be attached to the things of the mind and the body. When you are truly free as an awareness, you then have authority over both. And our goal here with you today is to get you to that place of awareness, that part of you that knows that your thoughts are not who you are, that part of you that knows that you are not that body, but you can direct it, that part of you that can be and be still or not be still. The doorway to freedom is knowing that you are the awareness, being that you are the awareness, being aware that you are aware allows you to step through the minefields that have been put in your mind and in this world that prevent you from remembering that which you truly are. You are the doorway to freedom. But until you can distinguish yourself from your thoughts, and distinguish yourself from your emotions, and distinguish yourself as the consciousness that governs the activities of this body, you'll be bound to the conditions, ideas, and beliefs in this form and in the world around it, which is an extension of the form. The physical world is an extension of form, as your body is an aspect of that form also. So please understand that your awareness is the doorway to freedom. And there is a feeling, if you can take a moment just to get your mind still and your body quiet long enough to just be aware of being aware, there's a sensation. um, I'm talking from third dimensional perspective. There's a sensation that happens in your body when you are not subjective to it anymore, and there's a quality that happens in your mind when you're not subjective to it anymore, and it's stillness. It's you becoming the being that you are. And when they explained that to me, it made perfect sense. That if you are just the awareness, aware of being aware, you will understand that that awareness is universal. And from the perspective of universal awareness, you move into the state of knowing all things. You move into the understanding that there is nothing separate from you. And you also move into the understanding of knowing what it is you need to do and be at any point of time and space of your existence. The concept of multidimensional awareness is a natural phenomena to your awareness, just as your awareness of your whole body at this moment is simply an extension of your awareness to all the different facets of the physical body. There are some among you that can actually sense the movement of blood through your veins. There are some amongst you who, when you take a breath, you can actually feel the oxygen moving to the bloodstream. There are some amongst you who can identify and diagnose the different conditions of the different parts of your body and offer corrective energies to improve or enhance those conditions in your body. So yeah, really getting to this understanding that your awareness is what you liberate yourself into freedom from. Your awareness is the doorway to freedom. And consider that. How often throughout the day are you aware that you're stuck in your thoughts, or that you're busy thinking, or remembering, or wondering about the next thing? Those are all things that entrap you into the things of the memory, the things of the body, the things of the world. That doesn't mean that you don't utilize the body, that you don't utilize the mind, that you don't interact with this world. When you're in a state of awareness, you begin to operate from a very different platform in consciousness, a different level of awareness, which Master Buddha called it being, being your being, just being. And in that state of being, you just know. You just know. You don't have to try to know. You just know in that state of being. But getting detached from everything else that's not that is where the conundrum that most people run into. And again, we emphasize and will continue to emphasize the value in learning to train your body to be still and quiet. As much as an Olympic athlete can spend years to rigorously train their body to a level of perfection that most human bodies ever get trained to, so too you can train your awareness to a level of authority over your mind and body that very few people on this physical dimension do. And this is an important skill to be able to cultivate and develop. Very few people actually sit down, have the patience, and take the time to literally slow their mind down, to literally slow their body down, to listen to silence, to listen and feel that silence, to become aware that that silence is literally infinite space, and that infinite space exists at all points of time and space in its essential nature. It is divine consciousness, which is omnipresent. In truth, your awareness, when it is disengaged from localized expression, becomes infinite consciousness, aware of all points of time and space. And again, the simple process of training your body and training your mind to be still and quiet is fundamentally important in order to be able to get to that place of knowing that your awareness is the doorway to freedom. So when you got an intense negative emotion or an intense positive emotion, you become the emotion. You're now localized the emotion and anything else that's connected to that emotion. So therefore, you're entrapped in the memory, or you're entrapped in that emotion, or you're entrapped in that experience of time space. And when you begin to, it doesn't mean you can't be aware of having experiences in time space. In fact, your awareness of time space will be enhanced when you become consolidated in the position of your individualized awareness, recognizing from that perspective that you are essentially unified with all points of time and space. There are simple things they say that we can do that will help us move easier into this awareness. One thing is to observe thought, to not engage it, to just literally watch thought go by. There's a guy named Gary Zukav who wrote a book, and I think it was The Seat of the Soul. And in the book, he talks about how thoughts can be perceived as like a sequence of things, and that if you were able to look at the spaces between the thoughts and focus only on that, you would literally lose your attachment to this mind and eventually to this world. Because when when you get your mind silent, the body goes into a dormant state. The body will go into a sleep state. So the outside observer, and you can see this with Zen monks and stuff, when they're in a deep meditative state, the body appears completely asleep. Although they're in a specific position, but the body appears to be deeply asleep. And from that perspective, they move into a state of beingness. They're no longer identified with form. They're no longer identified with thought. And learning that process, you don't have to spend years in a monastery to do that. Just learn to listen to the silence between thoughts. Yes. And there are simple ways of doing this. Learning to just listen to silence, become aware of the space between objects around you. Don't pay attention to the objects, pay attention to the space between the objects. For there is a connectivity and energy between objects that you are not aware of. You are caught in the phenomena of the form rather than the awareness of the connection and interconnectedness of the forms. Moving yourself into that place where you're aware of the space between your body and the ceiling, your body and the walls, becoming aware of that space and just feeling that space. The more you allow yourself to engage in that perception, the greater you liberate yourself from this identification with mind and body. And it is only from the liberation of your awareness from mind and body that you can begin to understand the relationship that you have with matter and time and space. You can then begin to explore that relationship of beingness, which is very exciting, getting to a place of beingness. I love that. Thank you. Hello from Connecticut. Hi, Bo. Yeah, if you're new here, please introduce yourself and let us know where you're from. And that is very true. I'm just going to scroll up. So we'll get to the beginning here. See if we got. Pleasure to meet you here, Kathy. Welcome. Hi, Christine from Latvia. Wonderful. Hi, Sean. I feel like an ancestor is trying to get my attention, but can't pinpoint who they are and the message. Yes, this is actually perfect. Again, they're telling me right now, Sean, what you're doing is you're trying to pinpoint an identity of the awareness that's trying to reach you. If you want to connect with the individual as they were when they were in form, where they are coming to you in the formless state, then you want to disconnect from your mind's attempts to try and figure it out, or your body's attempts to try and figure out what it's perceiving. You want to go into the place of awareness, and you want to become aware of the connectiveness of they're saying sensation is not the right word. The connection of yourself to them as an awareness. Be mindful of the change in your awareness. For if you are connecting to another awareness, it is like putting two drops of water together. There's slightly more there. So you want to become aware of the awareness at that point of consciousness that you're in, and feel the energy of the awareness, and allow your awareness to feel that. Once you can feel the connection of the awareness, you can feel its energy, you can ask at that point. You can then use your mind to say, bring down this vibration into a representation that my mind and body will recognize and understand. This is we see this happen a lot with people when they move their awareness out of the body. It's important you understand, while your awareness is the doorway to freedom, what happens is many of you, and we all do this, every night you put your body to sleep, your awareness is liberated from the form. Your soul, your awareness is liberated from the form, and it expands outward. But as an individualized awareness, your physical body has a localized identity called your personality. And that localized identity as your personality, when you come back into this localized identity, it has no awareness of that, because the physical form's only points of reference for awareness is through its 5 physical senses. It is your awareness that can deliberately bring information down so that the body and mind will have a reference point from that. But your body and your mind cannot perceive that which is beyond its senses. Only you can. You can extend the range of your senses, but your body in and of itself can only operate with the platform it has organically hardwired into it. So you have to deliberately download information into it. When you connect to those energies, bring the vibration of this being down into a form that my mind and body can remember and understand. And a lot of people get lost in that. They get disidentified with their individual self when they move off out of the body. And then when they come back, the body has no conscious recall. So a lot of people, when we do guided meditations in our courses and stuff, a lot of people think they have fallen asleep. And it's not that they've fallen asleep. They've literally left, their awareness has actually expanded out beyond localized identity of body-mind. And in that perception of expanded awareness, they don't bring that awareness back down into the body-mind, so the senses have a reference point. You give your physical brain the information, the idea, the vibration of it, so then the brain can work with you to formulate a framework that you can understand while you're in the physical body. It's one of the things that happens with me quite regularly, where I'm able to access, or I feel an energy coming in. I can feel the divine collective, and I can feel their energy and the way they come in through the back of my head and how that feels. And in the beginning, I felt the sensation, but I didn't know what it was. And you go through a process of, you got to literally train, you got to become the translator between the non-physical realms and the physical realm. You got to learn to translate vibration, bring it down, and train your body to interpret information through repeated experience with it, right? So I know, like, for example, if I call Master Jesus in, I immediately start to feel intense heat in my body. Literally, that just starts coming right in the core right now. And then each of these beings, again, that's a framework that I understand and experience Master Jesus' energy as, and that now my body has a mechanism for interpreting it. So it now knows, oh, Master Jesus is here, and it agrees with me. So it's important to understand that you have to train your body and mind and your awareness to recognize different potentials of consciousness, which are really just different potentials of ourselves, right? Very fascinating. Very fascinating. It's a great consideration, Sean. Thank you so much for that. Question from Giovanna. Am I doing well? If you reverse those two words, am I, and you reverse them to I am, and you speak that phrase, you will feel a difference in your energy. If you ask the question of yourself, am I doing well? You raise doubt and concern in the fabric of your mind instantaneously. So it's very important you understand the order of your words in which you use them. Reverse those two words to I am doing well, and you will feel a significant change in your energy alignment instantly. Many of you don't understand the vibrational value of words as a creative force in this physical dimension. So use your words mindfully and carefully, and you'll experience great change rapidly. Just by altering the structure of the words, the vibration they contain will alter the meaning they present to your physical body, and therefore the actions you'll conduct in this world through the form. Very good. Thank you, Giovanna. That was really wonderful. Good morning, Angie. Good morning, Majaj. Teresa's question. Would you please ask my angel team if they have anything they would like to communicate to me, Teresa? Wow. I don't know why they're showing you need to kick your feet up. They're saying you need to put your feet up. Who are you? You need to put your feet up and kick back. I see a cup of iced tea beside you on a table. They're saying you need to kick your feet up and relax and not think so much about all those other things. kick your feet up and relax and not think about all those other things. Interesting. When they give us information, what's really fascinating, if you apply the information, it's really fascinating what starts to happen. When you actually apply the suggestions and information they give you and allow yourself to experience what happens when you engage that energy, because that's what's important. Remember, only you can give your body and mind a new framework for being. It can only be what it's been programmed to be and do, genetically, emotionally, mentally, by your environment and your acquired programming from the DNA. Only you can reorganize all that. Only you can restructure that through a process of becoming aware. And that's why awareness is the doorway to freedom, because you get to reorganize matter, time, and space to manifest it as a representation of who you really are. Who you really are in truth is love. Who you really are is excitement and playfulness. You can choose to be others. You can choose to be lower vibrational elements too. There's lots of people who believe they are not good. There are lots of people that don't believe they are happy, and they create that energy as their experience. But you have a choice, and those of you who are here do have a choice, and we know this. It's very easy to understand. Yes. Manoj is asking, please ask angels, what do I need to know today? Wow. It's interesting that we speak of the doorway to freedom to you, and you hear these words. Is this not what's most important for you to understand, is how to be free? To be free of your thought, to be free of the dictates of your body and your past, to be liberated with joy and love in the present, dynamically creating the expressions of your being to be pleasing to you in this physical world. This is what you need. This is what you must understand. And this is what you must embrace by choice. We cannot make you. You must choose. We are around many of you all the time, many of us. And yet you choose to be listening with your ears and seeing with your eyes. Many of you do not use your feeling or your heart or your awareness to know we are present. But we are always present, and you know it. Sometimes you know it. Wonderful. Thank you, Bo. Bo just put up a comment here of something you can do to work on the space between things. You can check out Check Focus by Dr. Les Femi. And I've heard of Dr. Les Femi. I've never read any of his work, but I've heard of him. Hi, Trish. Hi, Niagara Falls. Love it. Hi, Allison from South Africa. That's awesome. Hi, Mike in Toronto. Another Toronto boy here. Wonderful. What is Artist Girls? What is my mother trying to tell me? I don't know why she's sending laughter through. Something about anyway. She's communicating laughter to you right now. I don't know what that means to you right now, but something about laughter. Something about what you two used to do when you were a young girl that made you two laugh like crazy together. You're saying that for what? To remember that as now, not as before. She says, stop looking back at the memory of us and become connected to the being of us now. You keep making the error that we are somehow separate, yet we are not. You know my presence, and it should bring you greater joy. Know that I am always with you and always extending you my love, as you are always extending yours to me. Rejoice in this. Yeah. And playfulness. So the energy of something you guys did in your younger years, I get like around 12 or 13, that you and your mom used to do. It was really fun to bring that energy back into the present moment. Not the memory, the energy of that in the present moment. That's how I'm interpreting what she's, or paraphrasing what she's saying, right? Naveed. Oh, that's a great question. But again, it is a question that can only be understood from the perspective of your being and not from the perspective of your thinking. You spend a great deal of time trying to analyze things, and you get stuck in the very process that you seek to liberate yourself from. The analysis will not give you the solution to these. As far as multidimensional levels. There are no multidimensional levels. There are just different degrees of how expanded or contracted your awareness is. If your awareness is contracted to that physical body, then you're limited to the dimension of that physical body. If your awareness is contracted to the level of your body and the contents of your mind, then the dimensional awareness you're connected to is that of your body and mind. When you liberate your awareness from your body and mind, you move into another dimension still. And the more you expand your awareness out, become aware of the experience of that being of expandedness, you'll understand these other dimensionals from your experience. These other dimensions exist according to the extension of your awareness from localized points of time and space that you perceive yourself to be at this point in time. If you wish to liberate yourself, we highly recommend that you stop focusing on trying to find the answers to these questions for the sake of your mind and body, but liberate your awareness from it. Liberate your awareness, yourself, your soul, your being, from that body and mind. And then you'll begin to understand how so many of us can be in so many different places at once, because our awareness is greatly expanded, but so is yours, but you must become aware of that fact. And you cannot become aware of that fact if you have localized yourself down to a single mechanism, a single molecule of creation process. You cannot know that you are if you are localized to a single molecule of consciousness. And that body you're in is but one molecule of infinite consciousness. Expand your awareness, and you'll understand. For our articulation of what these dimensions are, what they mean and how they function, what is the relationship to time-space, what are the relationships to nonlinear time-space, or what is the relationship to quantum creative processes. You cannot know this until you experience it. The existing mathematics you have on your planet are very slowly and incrementally pushing the expansion of awareness, not the expansion of knowledge. They're expanding awareness. Your mathematics and your sciences today are now beginning to allow awareness to expand. And it is through that collective expansion of awareness that more and more humans are falling into alignment with what you call the ascension process. Yes, thank you. Wow. Let's see, Pooja. I just want to ask Master Jesus that how can I live peacefully with my husband? We always try to get together, but things eventually go wrong. Any advice? Get out of your minds. You keep bringing up your past into your present, dear one. How can you possibly be free to be in love, to be in gratefulness with each other, if you continually resurrect the dead? And the resurrection of the dead is the repetition of your past in your mind and in your actions again and again. Let the dead bury the dead. Let your past be past. Let his past be past. And restore yourself to this divine moment. And if you can stay in this divine moment, both of you must do this. You must both choose. For you have a rope of connection. And if one of you chooses, like this tug of rope, if one of you chooses to go into the past, the other gets pulled that way. And then the other doesn't like that, so they pull back, and that one gets pulled that way. You must liberate yourself from this. Be in the divine moment, in the love that is what you are now. Why would you choose to focus on anything else but your love if that is all you seek? You seek to understand this and realize this with each other, but you choose not to take the time to do so. Instead, you choose to stay focused in your suffering, in the memories of your past, in your present. And these are all dead in truth, but you may breathe life into them, for it is a gift that the Creator gave to all of us to breathe life into whatever we choose to give our attention to as beings. But you will know the love that is the love that you know within each other if you choose to be that love now. You cannot find it elsewhere but in the moment, and in the moment, and in the moment. Thank you. Wow. That's profound. That level of awareness, like what I just felt from Master Jesus, that level of awareness where you are not attached to your past. You're not attached to a possible future about your past. You're connected to this moment so completely in a state of being expanded love, of unconditional love. And again, that's just one layer of choices, of options, of awareness that you have. You can be in a state of love. You can be in a state of fear. You have the freedom to choose the awareness that you wish to be at any given moment in time. If you choose to be wanting to experience love, then be love in the moment. and do not let anything out there take you from that. I never did that. Thank you. That's a great question. Oh, you're welcome, Trish. Let's see. Hi, Jessica. Again, if you're new here, I want to welcome you. We do this every day from 10 to approximately 11 a.m. And my guides and angels said we had to do this. It was really important at this time, at this juncture in human collective unconsciousness, that not just us, but many, many, many millions of others and groups around the planet are heightening the capacity to express and extend frequencies of love to the collective unconscious of humanity in order to restore us back to a state of being that is more in harmony with who we have been aspiring to be since the fall of Eden 70,000 years ago, right? A lot of people don't know that Eden was an actual place. It's funny, I received a map in the mail the other day of an ancient continent of Africa, and it was called Eden. And ironically enough, it was Jamal Ipsiku told me that it was 72,000 years ago when Eden fell for the first time. And there's been 6 successive civilizations since, like major evolutions of civilization that have also fallen. And it didn't fall because of Eve eating apple. It fell because humanity collectively shifted its perception from spirit awareness, being liberated awareness, expressing a divine expression through form, to becoming subjective, becoming seduced to matter, to the senses. We got locked in this. And for 72,000 years, we've been locked. Our species has been locked in this battle between our senses and our awareness. And there are a number of individuals, Thich Nhat Hanh, that have come through in recent times, Satya Sai Baba, have come through to bring the awareness of this unlimited being self that we are here to express to the world rather than to take from it. So the fall of human civilization was a result of our getting lost in matter. You could say that would be the metaphorical serpent. Is we got locked into this, right? But it wasn't. It was, it's funny. Master Jesus and I'm having a conversation a while ago, and he said to me, if you take the information in the Bible and you understand the language of it, and you understand the meaning of energy and consciousness, that you can actually see very clearly that there's information within that one must understand properly. The Adam and Eve story was a good example. He said, if you look at your modern sciences today, you've got the discovery of atoms and electrons allowed science to become aware of what the building blocks for physical matter were, atoms and electrons. And then he said, don't you not see the similarity between Adam and Eve, atoms and electrons? And I said, wow, that makes sense, because Adam and Eve get together and they went through this whole process, like 5 or 10 pages in the Bible where they're begatting and procreating. And that's exactly what happened to the womb. The sperm and the ovum, the Adam and the Eve come together and they begin to regenerate, and it creates physical form, right? And again, there's many interpretations, and that's just one that was downloaded to me by Master Jesus through the experience I have with him and the relationship I have with him. And we all have our own experience of what that is for us. Wow. Hi, Lauren. Hello. What is the relationship I have with Archangel Uriel? I feel a close connection. Wow. I don't know why she's saying this, but she's saying that your relationship with her is to restore love to politics. To restore love to politics. Wow. Is that the primary function? Yes, that is the primary. To restore love to politics. Again, I don't know what that will mean to you, or how that will apply to your life, but that's what I get from that energy right now. Cool. Do the angels have any messages for me today? Let's move on a bit here. Again, the doorway to freedom is in becoming aware that you are awareness, that the body that you're sitting in right now, the brain that's interpreting these sound vibrations into the language of your mind that lets you comprehend each word that is being spoken, that is an instrument of your mind This is an instrument of your body. You are not either one of those. You use those or are subjected to those. That's it. You're either directing this or being subjective to this. There's no middle ground here. You're either subjective to matter and mind, or you're proactive. You're generating states of mind and matter. Those are the two choices we have. And the vast majority of us, and many of you, are still struggling with that differentiation between who you are as an awareness and the mind as a constructed personality based on past programming and material experience, and the physical body with its genetic conditioning. As you begin to liberate yourself as an awareness from being subjected to body-mind, you then move into the process of being free. And from that perspective of freedom, you can begin to bring forth the manifestation of your expression as the awareness that you are, as an individualized expression of that infinite self that you are too. Yes, it's called a resolvable paradox, that you are both the part and the whole. And if you understand the concept of awareness, that even your cells have awareness in them, and you can be aware of what the cells are being aware of. Like I can be aware, if I hold my hand up, I can feel the slight movement of the in the back of my hand from the movement of air, which is being generated by the air conditioning unit, and I can sense the awareness my cells have of that. So I'm aware of their awareness, which means I'm connected to the awareness that is the form. But I'm also aware that I'm not the form. I can direct it. I can turn the hand. I can direct it. So it's important. Freedom, the doorway to freedom is your awareness. Very important. And meditation is the key to liberating your awareness from mind body. Luke is asking, how can we embrace our highest and best reality and become one with our divine selves? Luke, that's a great question. And I got Archangel Michael coming in saying to you, it's very important you understand. You must comprehend in your awareness, fashion in your consciousness, that which would be your best self. And then bring that best self down into thought. And then bring that best self down into action. You clearly know if you are doing or thinking things that you know will be your best or not be your best. For one will make you feel great joy, and one will make you feel like you are not feeling such joy. That is the simplest way, is to understand that as this perspective of your being, that which you are. Only from there can you generate the best and highest self. For you are referring to the best and highest self as being a physical manifestation. You are always your best and highest self in truth of who you are. You are always your highest self. But you want to take that higher self and bring it down. And you know if the thought and if the action represent that higher self that is you. And some of you may need to define what that is in the beginning to begin to create a conceptualized idea about what you think your finest self is, your highest self is in this physical form. But always it is through your awareness that you will know if one is true and one is false, if one is better or one is not so better. Only your awareness can make that definition. Your mind and body cannot alter or change themselves in and of their own volition. They are simply mechanisms that are designed to function subjective to the awareness directing and guiding them. And that awareness that's directing and guiding them can be your own awareness or the awareness of an external agency in this physical dimension. So your body and your minds can be manipulated in this plane. If you're not aware of who you are, you can be manipulated. You can be controlled. So be mindful of who you are so that you may take the authority of your kingdom over. You take your temple back. Thank you. Wow. Hi, Mike. Mike is saying, I feel lost and discouraged in my trading abilities and feel as though I may not have the skills needed to succeed. Am I on the right path? As long as you are allowing those feelings, those thoughts to enter your mind, that's a very specific path that you're on. If you allow certain thoughts, as you've just described to us, then we can most certainly assure you you're not on the right path. But if you redefine that process of thought and idea, you may redefine your path. And that is what you are here to do. You are not here to let this outside world and the appearance of the conditions in this world to determine your path. That is your choice. But the first thing you must do is align your thought and your body to that which you know to be true. Do you wish to be a good trader? If you do, then you must not allow thoughts in there that would contradict that. Those thoughts that are contradicting that will incline you to make errors. For thoughts that are lesser than what you ideally want to be will interfere with the process of your manifesting that which you wish to be. This is very simple. You explained it very clearly, and now you can liberate yourself from it. You must become aware of the thoughts, the ideas, and the actions that would be most conducive to producing the energy experience in time-space that you wish to have. I get that. I'm interpreting that to mean, I'm paraphrasing that to mean that if you're in a thought process that you're having doubts and uncertainty because maybe you lost a pile of money on the floor or whatever it is you're doing, and you're struggling with that, again, if you believe the energy of the loss is greater than the energy of your own being, then the energy of the loss in the world will take precedence over your own ability to change it. But if you get into an energy that says, wow, I can redo this. I've done it before. I can do it again. Again, emotion is energy in motion. And whatever emotional energy you engage, it's going to define behavior, thought, and action. So if you're into an energy of, oh my God, what's happening? I can't do it. Then you're going to create more of, oh my God, what's happening? You're going to feel out of control, which is what you're experiencing. But if you go into deliberately and intentionally and repeatedly keep your awareness, and you use your awareness to keep your mind and body focused and centered on how much you love what you do, how you know this is just another hurdle to climb over. This is going to make you stronger and better. You have the choice to formulate an energy that will be conducive to producing very different results in time space, as is true for all of us in these physical dimensions. Cool. I love that. Yes, I hear that. Yes. Patricia, thank you. Lysandra, Jessica, virtualizing. It's so important. The doorway to freedom, I want to highlight this again. The doorway to freedom is your awareness. It is only through your awareness that you can get into a position where you can transform and change the existing emotions that have been programmed in your body. You know how many people on this planet have been programmed to be afraid that aren't even aware they've been programmed to be afraid? Billions. About 6 billion people on this planet are programmed to be afraid, and they're not even aware they've been programmed to be afraid. They're just afraid. And they're wearing their masks and they're hiding in their homes because they've been programmed and conditioned by the systems that are providing information to their senses that tell them to be afraid. There are zombies, there's diseases, there's people that will kill you and hurt you and harm you. This stuff is going on all the time. And until you step back and say, wait a minute, that is not the awareness I want to give. That is not what I want to give my awareness to. Step away from those things that feed the fear in your mind. Tell others. Step away from the fear that's being put at your mind and realize you are not that fear. You are not that guilt. You are not that shame. You are not that doubt. That's not who you are. You are a divine being of immeasurable capabilities that is able, with step-by-step processes of getting your mind and body quiet, of stepping out of that paradigm that has been programmed into your body and to rewrite, to create a new earth, to create a new mind, a new body, and a new world through that form. And collectively, as humans get together and do this, if humans get together collectively, as we're doing like here right now, and as other groups are doing, as we get to collectively together in this vibration of love, moving away from fear, we will alter time-space. And it's happening right now. There are many groups doing this. So really step out of it. Like, step back from all the stuff that stimulates and triggers your fears, right? And if stuff that scares you comes up, then move into a state of love towards it. But don't sit there, don't fall asleep in front of the television. Don't read newspapers, don't watch news that are telling you what to be afraid of. There might be another threat level. This is all designed to keep you in fear. And if you're in fear, you're stuck in matter. If you're stuck in matter, your awareness is trapped. It's not really trapped, but it thinks it's trapped. You're not trapped. Emotion is energy in motion, and you are the awareness that can direct, alter, and change it. They tell us this all the time. We just have to listen. You're welcome, Minaj. Thank you. Let's see, where are we time-wise? Wow, the time just blows by, eh? Oh, I also want to say thank you to our new Patreon supporters. Thank you. The draw is coming up in a few days to see who gets a free reading with me next month. Also, I want to thank those of you that have offered your kind words of support. And it just gets better every day. And the number of people that come into this is important. Please remember to like this video while it's live. Like it. Subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell. Get involved. Take some of the information that these beings are giving us through this forum and put it to use. Get your mind and body back under your awareness's control. You know, it's going to be harder for some of you than others, but it gets easier by starting now. Like, sit your body down. When it feels anxious, sit it down. Train it. No, you're going to sit down until you're calm. We're not going to let you go anywhere until you're calm. And your mind, get your mind still and quiet. It takes practice, right? Yes, I understand that. And you can't do that unless you're aware. Unless you're aware, oh, I'm having these thoughts. I'm aware of this anxiety. And until you become aware, you can't change it. And most people are so caught up in matter. And I was there. I understand. I really do. It's not a fun place to be believing that the shame and the guilt or that negative thought you have about yourself is true. To believe that is real suffering, you know. And I know there are people out there who struggle with suicide and other things like that don't understand that the emotions they're feeling is not who they are. It's the energy that's in their system that's been predisposed to function in a certain way. And until they become aware that they are not the emotion, they become aware that they're not the thoughts. At that point, awareness is the beginning and the doorway to freedom. Once you are the awareness, aware of your thoughts, aware of your emotions, but you realize you are not them, you have them, then you can begin to reorganize them. Then you can make decisions about, no, I don't want that thought. I'm going to change this emotion. And again, we offer all kinds of strategies and processes in our mediumship courses for getting in touch with your guides and angels, but also learning practical tools for how to still and quiet your mind and body and get out of being trapped in matter, in the red clay, right? A lot of people are stuck in here, and it's unnecessary. Animals like cows and other animals, they are naturally in bliss. In their natural state, when they're not being murdered or butchered or eaten, they're in a state of bliss, in the state of being what they are as a physical entity. They're in bliss about that, just as trees are in a state of bliss in their being, right? They're in a state of bliss in their being. And in your awareness of being an awareness and knowing this, you will be in a bliss of the state of your being, because it is not confined to the mind and body and what's in the mind and body. It becomes the ruler over the kingdom. Anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate that. How to improve my mood if my loved ones constantly... Yes, I see that. Oh, Lysandra, thank you for that $5 donation. I really appreciate it. Yeah, anybody who's new here, if you want to kick in a little donation, right below the chat box, you can click the little S symbol and offer a donation if you want to support this work and this program, this particular program we're doing. Is all the support we get and we're grateful for. Let's see. Let's hang on. Reflection. Let's see. If you want a question answered, please write at the beginning of your statement question and then your question. That way I know when it's a question. I can catch that. Otherwise, I just think it's just chatting. You're talking amongst each others. So please write the word question and then your question afterwards. And we'll do the best we can to get to it, right? I know. We have all the time in the universe. I'm just like, yeah. Let's see, reflection, great information again, William. So I don't see where your question is, reflection. Oh, wait, can you read my question, please? Oh, again, if you don't write the word question in front of questions, it's not fair to other people. There, you did do that. Thank you, reflection. I just didn't catch it. Any messages for me? Thanks, reflection. You need to go to your center. I don't know who this is, but there's something you need to go to the center of your heart, not in the fit. just behind the physical heart in your body. You need to go to that point of awareness, and become aware of the vibrational energy that comes into the heart from there. Again, I don't know what that means, but apparently behind your heart, there's a vibrational energy that goes into your heart from behind it. Move your awareness there and become aware of the quality of that vibration that goes into the heart. They're saying be with that vibration for some minutes. What do you mean by some minutes? The amount of time it will take you to become aware of this energy and to feel its grace. Those are the words they're using. So that until you feel its grace. So reflection, I hope you do that. Literally move your awareness to that place behind your heart and feel the energy that goes into the heart. Move your awareness in that place and become aware of what that energy is, the grace that energy is offering you. Again, let us know what happens. Anybody who gets a question answered, please share your experiences, your results on the lives, so other people you might trigger something for somebody else that they need to know or hear, because we're all here for each other, right? We're all here together. Oh, happy birthday, Patricia Mitchell. Happy birthday. Yes. I'm going to scroll back down here. See, I think we got enough time for 2 more questions, I think. Let's see. Question. Before we leave this live every day, can we send each other love? Lysandra, that's a brilliant idea. And that's a given. I feel that the moment I open my eyes every morning, I'm aware that that's what I'm feeling in my being. Right? That's what I bring forth my awareness in this dimension. So, yeah, remember the true nature of your awareness. When you can just be your awareness, and in that place of awareness, just consider what for you is a vibration of love. What for you as an awareness feels like love. Consider that. And the minute you can consider that, the minute you ask, what does love feel like for me? Allow whatever energy comes up in your heart to become aware to you. Let yourself become aware of that. And then take that vibration and use your breath. And you can literally expand the awareness of that vibration out to everybody at all points of time and space on this planet. We do this in our 1 Billion Strong group multiple times a day, where we actually move our awareness into a state of love and grace as we understand it to be within our own awareness. And we use our breath to expand that awareness out, to incorporate the structure we're in, to incorporate the town or city we're in. And we expand that vibration out further and further to incorporate the whole world. And we expand it out further and further to let every vibration of that love permeate and impact every molecule that's contained within the confines of the Earth's atmosphere. And then we extend that love out further even. So you can do this. You can do this. You can use your breath. Use your breath. Your breath is a divine tool at your disposal. You can use emotional energy and matter and alter it very differently when you consciously use your breath. Thank you, Lysandra. So what we can do about a minute before we finish, we can all take a moment to do that. If you didn't do it now, you can do it again too. This is an awesome group we have here. Question before we, yes, we've done that one. Thank you again, Lysandra. I really see that. I really appreciate that. Lysandra, where are you? Question below. I've been suffering from alcoholism. Please tell me what I can do to help myself from where I am. Thank you so much. And I feel there's great love, great empathy for you, because I understand that place. They're telling me right now the first thing you need to do is begin to release all of your sadness. They're saying in order to begin to liberate yourself from that pain that drives you to do that thing, they're saying besides the attachment you've trained your body to have to the chemistry change that happens when you consume alcohol, you must connect to the emotion that comes up just prior to your desire to drink. Just prior to your desire to drink, there is an emotion there. And that part of you That frightened and sad part of you needs you to love it. It doesn't need you to sedate it. It needs you to love it. If you spend time, every time you have the desire to drink, then sit with that emotion that precedes the desire. Feel the emotion that makes you want to desire to drink, and give that aspect of yourself, which is sad and fearful, the love and care that you need to. And that love and care is a feeling, it's an energy that you, as an awareness, can communicate to it. If you do this repeatedly, you will find your need for alcohol will diminish very rapidly, for you will be changing the very consciousness that drives that very action that has become automatic to you. But it is not who you are. It is not who you have to be. Go to that place. Thank you. That was the divine collective for you, Sophia. I know that place, and it's not the alcohol you have a problem with. You don't have a problem. It's a part of you inside that is not or has not received the love and respect and appreciation that it needs and deserves, and it's afraid. It's been harmed by this process you've been in for a long time, and the truth is that the process isn't you. You are the awareness. You are the awareness. You are the awareness. Remember, go to that place. Go to that place just before you have the urge to drink. Go to that place where that urge comes from, and find that place of sadness and fear that needs your love, and give it love. Do not become the sadness, which is what you have been doing. You feel the feeling and you become the feeling, which you are free to do. We would never stop anybody from choosing to suffer or be in love. It's a choice you make, but it's not who you are. So go to that place and give that part of you that is sad the love that it so rightfully deserves, which is you. You give yourself to yourself this way. You'll feel great change very rapidly, and we'll be happy to hear about this. Thank you. Thank you for that, Jessica, and thank you for stepping up like that, and being so honest in a forum like this. I know what it's like, and it takes a lot of courage, but now, you've got all kinds of love coming your way. Like, there's just so much love coming towards you right now. So go to that place in you where that part of you is afraid and sad. We don't want to get into why it is afraid and sad. You don't need to go into why it's afraid and sad. Just give it the love and the grace that it needs from you as an awareness. And they're telling me to tell you, you know what we mean when we say this. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being so brave. So appreciated. Thank you, Luke, for that 2222. I really appreciate the donation. Thank you. Wow, thank you so much. You really moved my heart. Question from Patricia. Is there a particular archangel or master that concentrates on teenagers, young adults, other than Jesus, of course? Yeah, there are many. They're saying also there are many from many realms. Many of them are playful, from the forests and the waters. These are the forest and water spirits, the angels and archangels that work with these beings as well, often are interactive with teenagers. The challenge that your teenagers face in this time is that they are overwhelmed and disconnected from the very thing within themselves that they need to remember. There's a lot of distractions pulling their attentions away from the very vital area of their own being, that which they are. It is important that they remember that they are not this body, that they are not that mind. We are around them all the time. It's where they get much of their energy from, because we are in delight with them, for they love to be in experience in this world. It's their joy. But they have been conditioned by their, they have been trained by their world to think and believe in very specific ways. Many of them are fear-based, and they don't even know it. And usually when they get into their mid-20s, many of them are playing out these fears and these dramas because they do not understand the distinction between the joy of their own being and the mind and body that joy of their own being has to try and function through. It is important to understand that your awareness is the doorway to freedom, and their awareness is the doorway to freedom also. Well, I want to thank everybody for showing up today, and I want to thank all of you for your questions. The information that comes through is a gift to all of us. Um, when you start allowing yourself to step outside what you've been thinking in your head all the time, and step outside what you've been attached to emotionally in the body, and you start to become the awareness, the loving awareness that is truly who you are or can choose to be. Because there are beings that have chosen to be an awareness that suffers. You don't have to choose that. So remember, it's through the extension and expansion of your awareness beyond identification with the body and mind and the personality construct you live in that you begin to find true and real everlasting freedom. And it's literally just a breath away, just a breath away. I want to wish you all of you a wonderful and a joyful day, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to how this unfolds. If you want to know more about the work that we do, go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and you can check out courses, classes. You can book a reading with me there. If you want to support this work, you can also become a Patreon on my Patreon page, www.patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. And again, I want to wish everybody a wonderful, a joyful day, and